Hi, my name is Jackie, and you've tuned into Jackie and the Other Side of Beauty. If this is your first time here, I would like to invite you to subscribe to the channel if you enjoyed today's video. And if you're returning to the channel, it's always good to have you back. In today's video, I thought we would recap the items I used for my Shop My Stash for the month of May. I am well aware that it is June and approaching the middle part of June, and I have not uploaded a current Shop My Stash. And that's what we're doing today. I am going to recap the items in a separate video, so when I do my Shop My Stash next, the video won't be as long. So if you're interested in recapping the items that I used, then please keep on watching. Okay, you guys, my intent is to recap the items that I used. I hope I am remembering correctly, because I know I pulled my favorites, and some of the items in my Shop My Stash were in my favorites, and I may have gotten things confused and whatnot, but I do essentially remember. Just hopefully, just go with it. Okay, so of course you guys know, I don't even know where to start. Of course you guys know, let's just start here, that I finished my smaller Rare Beauty mascara, and I opened this one. Here's the smaller one that I was using right here. Finished this one, and now I'm on this one. So this mascara, you guys already know, it's a love for me. Next, for setting powders, I did pull my Fenty Beauty setting powder in the shade Nutmeg. And again, you know, I love that powder and definitely would repurchase it again. I also thought this time that I might want to use I hope I don't have crumbs. I ate a cookie. I also thought that this time around, I may want to use a foundation powder as a setting powder, you know, especially if I went in with a lightweight foundation. I thought this might just do a little extra coverage, and this might be something nice to play around with. So I did pull my Makeup Forever. This is a foundation powder, and I have the shade Y505. This is what it looks like. I really did not use this powder as much as I thought that I would. I did use it a few times, but not that often, so I don't know what to say about it. I like the powder, I just didn't pull for it. So I also pulled this Rare Beauty foundation to use, and I have the shade 460 Warm in this one. So I did enjoy using this. This is always a good foundation to use. I just really made myself do a rotation of everything. You know, I try not to get stuck on one foundation. Even if I wanted to pull that one, I went ahead and pulled the other one, because I wanted to make use of my foundations as much as possible, all of them, and not just hone in on just one particular foundation. So I also pulled this Estee Lauder Double Wear Stay in Place Makeup Foundation, and in this foundation I have the shade 6-in-1 Mocha. This is what this one looks like. Now, my girl Sarah put me on how to get a pump for this foundation, because it doesn't come with a pump. So I went ahead and purchased a pump, and I love it all the more. But this is a good foundation. To me, this is a foundation that I would use for special occasions, and when I really, like it says, stay in place, when I really want my makeup to stay in place. When I look at the forecast and I see that the weather is going to be really humid and really hot, that's the kind of foundation that I would like to grab for, just to kind of, you know, make my, makeup, like it says, stay in place. And when it's hot and I'm sweating, I'm not sweating foundation, you know, just to kind of help my makeup to hold up a little bit better. For my concealers, I did pull 3 concealers. I pulled the Anastasia Beverly Hills, and I have this one in the shade 18. This one. I pulled my L'Oreal Infallible Full Wear Concealer, and this one is in the shade Honey 415. And I also pulled my Tarte Ultra Creamy Shape Tape concealer, and this is in the shade 53N. Put this one as well. Now I will say, this one I had no trouble with. My Tarte foundation, I didn't have any trouble with. You know, I love the creaminess of it. But in that same vein, I have the Anastasia Beverly Hills, which is also creamy. And this one just creased on me all the time. Now, I am aging. I'm getting more fine lines, more creases underneath my eyes. I have one crease that it doesn't just stay right here. It travels down. So I'm aware of that, but I noticed just with this one that powder wouldn't help it. Nothing would help it. This would just crease and just settle into my lines. But I'm going to keep trying it. You guys know me. I am going to keep trying it. It didn't stop me from wearing it. I still wore it because I pulled it and I wanted to get some use out of it because it has really good coverage. So I just wore it and creased. Now, this one is always A+. This L'Oreal, always A+. This I love. Let's see. I'm not going to talk really about my staple items. They just stay in here. My brow pencil by Huda Beauty. This is in the shade 7 Black Brown. And this is their hashtag Bomb Brows eyebrow pencil. And this one I did happen to use all the way up. So I get nothing else when I click it. So this one I've already used. So this is going to go in my empties. So now I'm using, this one's in my little makeup bag. The eyebrow pencil that I'm using and that I have on today is my Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Wiz, and I have the shade Dark Brown. This is really not a favorite of mine unless my brows are freshly groomed, which I had to do that today. I groomed them today, and this went on really good. It does a good job at filling in. It does a good job at hiding all my little gray hairs. I guess the reason that it's really just not a favorite is because of the point. You know, one of those little rounded. I just feel like the one with Huda Beauty is thin and sharp, you know, and this one is a little bit more rounded. And am I almost out of this one too? Okay, I don't know if you can see it, but this one is just a little bit more rounded, has a little bit more thickness to it, and I just feel like it doesn't get me that crisp brow that I like. In terms of like my tail, you know, I like it to be, you know, a little bit thinner, you know, and I don't know, it's just not a favorite, but it's okay for me as long as my brows are freshly groomed. Now this is one of my staple items, but I do want to talk about it. This is the Live Tinted. I use this as my color corrector, and I've been going in ham with it because I've just noticed that I have just a little bit more darkness right in the corners of my, did I use it today? Yes. I have just a little bit more darkness in the corners of my eye. And I noticed that with this concealer in particular, the Tarte Ultra Creamy Concealer, I noticed that this one did not do a good job at concealing the darkness right in the corners of my eyes. So I definitely use this Live Tinted corrector to kind of camouflage it. Sometimes, I didn't do it today, but sometimes I'll go in and camouflage my hyperpigmentation and my little raised moles and my right here. But I didn't do it today. I just used it strictly as a corrector for my under eyes. But this is a must, especially since I'm getting darkness in the inner corners. Now the blushes that I pulled are, I pulled my Kaja for my blush, my highlighter, and my slash contour. So I pulled this. This is in the shade 03. Use this blush quite a bit. So I have a blush here. Oops, my contour here. And I don't want to break my nail. My nails are fragile. Here we go. And right here I have the highlighter. So I pulled this, took it to work with me. For my other blush, I used the 03 Berry Juicy. It says Cheeky Vegan Blush Powder, and this is the Glowish Blush by Huda Beauty. And this is what it looks like. Very pretty blush. Enjoyed that one. I think I only pulled these two blushes right here, if I'm not mistaken. I think those were the only two blushes that I pulled. Just the one in here and then the one right here. Okay, let's go for bronzers. I pulled this House Labs, a love, hands down a love. This is my it says Power Sculpt Velvet Bronzer, and I have the shade Deep Level 10. This is what the bronzer looks like as far as the packaging. And here's the bronzer inside. And the compact does come with a little nice mirror. Very, very nice bronzer. I love this bronzer. It looks so good on me. Doesn't lean too red. It just, you know, I told y'all, I'm really not that much into the red bronzers. So this, to me, perfect. And I also pulled my Colored Rain bronzer, and this is in the shade Naughty Spice. This is what Naughty Spice looks like. Very nice compact. Again, it has a mirror. Colored Rain did a very nice job with these bronzers. Love it. I pulled two highlighters. I picked up the Becca highlighter in the shade Topaz. This is what the packaging looks like. It's an oldie but goodie. This is what the highlighter looks like on the inside. Very nice. And this too has a very nice mirror that you can use. And then I wanted to try out my Charlotte Tilbury highlighter. It says that this is the Hollywood Glow Glide Face Architect highlighter, and I have the shade Gilded Glow. I already told you guys I got this shade by mistake. Not a fan of the packaging. It's very hard to open unless you get right up under there. This is what it looks like on the inside. I'm glad I got to try it out. I do have it on today. This was not the shade I intended on buying, but it worked out perfectly. I really love this shade right here. I'm glad I incorporated it into my Shop My Stash just so I can try it out and see how I would like everything. So again, this one also has the mirror, and this highlighter is refillable. It has a little pin in the back that you can just pop out the little pan and put in your new one. So this one is actually nice. I like it. I'm glad I picked it up, even though I wasn't planning on it. Okay, so I did also purchase this Broad Spectrum SPF sunscreen. It's the Invisible UV Flawless Primer, and it's also a sunscreen. This is by Charlotte Tilbury. You know, I told you that my other sunscreen, sometimes if I didn't give everything a chance to dry down, that sometimes it will move, my primers would go on top and start moving my sunscreen around because I also would have serums on and all that stuff. So I thought if I got a sunscreen and primer in one, that might be beneficial, and I have been loving the concept of it. This is very expensive, so this probably would not be a repurchase unless I got a good sale on it again, but I do like this. For my eyeshadow palettes, I pulled 3 eyeshadow palettes. And the first one is my ColourPop. This is a Star Wars, the Mandalorian palette. And like I said, I'll pop up pictures of me wearing these palettes. Sometimes I mix them and match them, but just everything worked out so well. And this is, says he's the cutest in the galaxy. And he is. He's just so precious. This is what the palette looks like. I had this in my favorites, but this is what this palette looks like. I just love using these shades. This one, this is like one of my favorites, but I also love this shade right here. The greens, of course, you know, are good to go. Especially this one. I just love the whole palette. So I pulled this one, enjoyed using it immensely. I pulled this one because I never really got good use out of this palette for some reason. I think when I got it, the color story kind of threw me off, so I never really gravitated to it, but I really used it a lot this Shop My Stash. So this is the palette by Alamar Cosmetics. I don't know. Oh, it's the Reina del Caribe eyeshadow palette volume 1. This is what it looks like right here. I purposely pulled this because it's an oldie, but like I said, I never really got a lot of use out of it, but I did this time for sure. I'm looking at it, and I used every single shade in this palette, not for just one eye look, but I did dip into every single shadow making eye looks. So this one, as a matter of fact, this one, like I said, I mixed and matched. So as a matter of fact, today I am wearing this yellowish mustard color. I'm wearing this orange, just above the crease and in the crease. And I'll show you what else I have on the eyes. But I just use this palette today for 2 shadows. But these shadows are so, so nice. These right here, this one, these, they're just beautiful on the eyes. So this, I'm so glad that I used and enjoyed using it this Shop My Stash. Now, this palette here, I just used a lot. Just a lot, you guys. And that is the Anastasia Beverly Hills palette with Jackie Aina. I just took the brush out. Now, for the rest of today's eye look, I went in with this deep purple right here. Yeah, I went in with this deep purple right here. Then I had my Sweet Tart Cravings palette sitting here from my favorites. So then I went ahead and dipped into this shade. You guys know I told you I wanted to get some more use out of it. So I dipped in that shade right there. I think that's the only shade from this palette that I use. And then I went back to the Jackie Aina palette and dipped into, well, this deep purple is called Big Wig. So I used this one, and then I dipped into this one right here for right in the inside, and it's called Dollars. This one right here. So a lot of times I just use this on my own, but yeah, I use this one a lot. All of these palettes I use individually or in conjunction with other palettes, just mixing and matching. And May was a good Shop My Stash, I'm gonna say. It was really good. Let's see, eye primers. I have my Sephora Beauty Amplifier eye primer. Mostly I forgot I had this. If I'm honest, I forgot I had it. I did use it a couple of times when I rediscovered that it was in my tray, but mostly I was using my MAC paint pot in the shade Groundwork. This is the one I use most of the time. Now I do think I want another one of these, just slightly lighter. But yeah, I do want another one, but I don't think I would get 2 of them at a time because they will dry out on me. But had these 2 eye primers. Okay, so now let's talk about the primers that I use. Of course, again, I had the Charlotte Tilbury sunscreen and primer, so we used that. I also pulled, sorry, my hands are ashy, but I'm cooking as well, so I keep running water. So I also used the Ulta Beauty Mattifying Face Primer as one of the primers for May. And then I pulled the Beauty Blender, the Leveler, and I have the shade Tan Deep. I use this just to do a little bit more smoothing and blurring of my pores, added extra coverage. And I do like this, I just don't like the packaging. Remember I was telling you guys how hard it is to squeeze this out from this hard plastic. I mean, it literally takes 2 hands. And so you know how I can't do that. I really have to squeeze it out and then pick it up and put it on. This packaging is horrible. So those are all the primers that I use for May. Now let's talk about powders. I already hit on powders, but I forgot my under eye powders. So I used my Hourglass. I used this one a little bit more. Have to say I didn't hate it. It's not one of my favorite powders by no means, but it wasn't horrible. And then I used my Huda Beauty. This is in the shade Kanafa, but I remember now that I mixed in my Blondie powder by Huda Beauty as well. So this powder wouldn't look so orange on my skin. So when I mixed both of them together, see how orange it can be? But when I mixed in the Blondie, it kind of lightened up that orangey look. So this is by Huda Beauty, and I have to say that I did use it more since I added the shade Blondie to it. So this one was the one. I think I'm gonna use this one maybe. I'm not gonna say I used it more than Hourglass, because I really did use Hourglass a lot, because that's a powder that I was thinking that I really didn't care for. So that could have been one that I would have easily just decluttered, but you know, I didn't hate it this go around. I would say, side note, let me come back to this. I would say that this shade, Kanafa, would not be a repurchase. I wouldn't repurchase this shade, but you guys know that I have purchased another powder, full-size powder in the shade Blondie. So that one I love, but this shade right here, I would not repurchase Kanafa again, but the formula of the powder is great. I did use my Tarte Shape Tape Glow Wand, and this is in the shade Ablaze. I think I used this twice. I don't know why. You know, I was having those little issues under the eye where I just used it twice. So I may pull this again for next month because I didn't hate it. And y'all know how much I used to love the Glow Wand. And that's it, you guys. That's all I see. I use, so that's it, you guys. That's all I see. Oh, no. I really tried out, really for the first time that I got to really use it, and that's the e.l.f. So much is gone. This is the e.l.f. Stay All Night Microfine Setting Mist. So I did use this, and I didn't hate it. This was really actually nice. And of course, my Fenty Beauty Makeup Refreshing Spray. Definitely will be a repurchase. I just like this. But that's it. I just wanted to go in and recap the items from my Shop My Stash for May. So this video will be up first, just recapping the items, and then the next video you should see is my Shop My Stash. So you guys, thank you for tuning in to today's video. I know some of you love my Shop My Stash videos, and that's why you subscribe. So I'm a little late with it, but I am coming through with it. So you'll see that after this one. So again, thank you so much for tuning in. If you did enjoy today's video, please consider subscribing to my channel, giving this video a thumbs up, and ringing the notification bell. It just lets you know each and every time that I upload a video. And share the channel, because you know I don't mind. And lastly, please know that you are always welcomed and wanted here on my channel. And with that said, thank you guys so much for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care, my friends, and I will see you soon. Bye-bye.